Fighting with the swords, gone. Playing with the brain, on. Let's play Giraffe Chess Hattrick League Season 3.
International Giraffe Chess Federation presents Hattrick League Season 3 between 10 Proddatur teams. Hello everyone, welcome to India's new 68 squared Giraffe Chess Academy Proddatur, and welcome to the live telecast of no draws, no resigns, only win or lose in just 70 moves Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us watch second match between Proddatur Spartans versus Proddatur Gladiators. Each team consists of 3 players. Whoever team all outs opponent all 3 players is the match winner. Let us move straight away to the center of the court to watch the toss.
Head is the call from Proddatur Spartans. So, tail. Toss won by the Proddatur Gladiators. What you will select? Proddatur Gladiators. They won the toss and elected
Proddatur
to play
Gladiators
first
won
game
the toss and elected to play on white side.
Best of luck. Take shake hands.
And here is the both teams lineup for Proddatur Gladiators team. Ishwar is the opener and Jay Bhargav is the second player, and Sufyan comes to play as third player. And for Proddatur Spartans team, Nawaz is the opener and Jaswant is the second player, and Tejas comes to play as third player. Let us watch first game of the match between Proddatur Gladiators team opening player Ishwar versus Proddatur Spartans team opening player Nawaz. Let us see among these 2 players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch. Let us move on to the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Gladiators team opening player Ishwar is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. 6 times hat-trick hero, Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Spartans team opening player Nawaz is ready to play on black side. See, both players are ready to start the match. Black side player Nawaz is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game started.
Pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn to e3, pawn to c5, knight to f3, pawn to e6, knight to e5, bishop to d6, knight to d3, Giraffe to c6, knight to f4, pawn capture pawn at d4, queen capture pawn at d4, pawn to e5, queen to d3, giraffe captured queen at d3, giraffe captured giraffe at d3, pawn capture knight at f4, pawn capture pawn at f4, knight to f6, giraffe to c3, castling at king side, bishop to e2, knight to c6, castling at king side, bishop to f5, giraffe captured knight at c6, Pawn capture giraffe at c6. Pawn to h3. Knight to e4. Knight to d2. Knight capture giraffe at c3. Pawn capture knight at c3. Bishop capture pawn at f4. Knight to f3. Bishop capture bishop at c1. Rook capture bishop at c1. Bishop to e4. Rook to e1. Rook to e8. Knight to d4. Pawn to c5. Knight to c6. Queen to g5. Pawn to g3. Giraffe to f6. Knight to a5. Giraffe capture pawn at g3. Bishop at g4. Giraffe to d2 and check to white side. King to h2.
Nawaz immediately moved his queen to f4 and said check to white king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Nawaz. Ishwar out. Proddatur Gladiators team lost first player. Proddatur Spartans team opener. Nawaz won the first game by checkmate in just 25 moves with 3 minutes 44 seconds play time. And there we can see Nawaz by lifting his king. He is celebrating first game win. Still 2 more games win is needed to do Hattrick and become Hattrick hero of the today's match. In the second game he is going to play with Jay Bhargav, who will come back to the second game few minutes. Now, let us watch second game of the match between Proddatur Gladiators team second player Jay Bhargav Reddy versus Proddatur Spartans team opening player Nawaz. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do Hattrick and who will be the Hattrick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Nawaz already won the first game and now playing for winning second game. Let us watch what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Best Scholar awardee, Proddatur Gladiators team second player Jay Bhargav Reddy is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. 6 times Hattrick hero, Best Scholar awardee, Proddatur Spartans team opening player Nawaz is ready to play on white side. Now we can see both players are ready to start the game 2 of the match. Black side player Jay Bhargav Reddy is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock.
Pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to f3, knight to f6, bishop to c4, knight to c6, pawn to d3, bishop to c5, knight to c3, pawn to d6, giraffe to e3, knight to g4, pawn to h3, knight capture giraffe at e3, bishop capture knight at e3, bishop capture bishop at e3, pawn capture bishop at e3, bishop to e6, giraffe to b1, pawn to a6, pawn to a4, pawn to d5, pawn capture pawn at d5, bishop capture pawn at d5, bishop capture bishop at d5, giraffe to d6, bishop capture knight at c6, giraffe capture bishop at c6, giraffe to c4, Rook to b8. Queen to d2. Pawn to f6. Castling at queen side. Pawn to b5. Pawn capture pawn at b5. Pawn capture pawn at b5. Giraffe to b1. Castling at king side. Pawn to d4. Giraffe captured knight at c3. Giraffe captured giraffe at c3. Pawn capture pawn at d4. Rook capture pawn at d4. Queen to c8. Queen capture giraffe at c6. Rook to e8. Rook to e1. Rook to e6. Queen to d5. Pawn to c6. Queen to d7. Rook to e8. Queen captured queen at c8. Rook captured queen at c8. Giraffe to e2. Pawn to g6. Giraffe to b3. Pawn to c5. Rook to d5. Pawn to f5. King to d2. Pawn to c4. Giraffe to e2. Pawn to b4. Pawn to c3. Pawn to b3. Giraffe to b1. rook to a8, knight to e5, rook to a2, knight capture pawn at c4, rook to a4, giraffe capture rook at a4, pawn to g5, king to d3, king to f7, rook to d6, king to e7, king to d4, pawn to g4, pawn capture pawn at g4, pawn capture pawn at g4, king to c5, pawn to g3, king to c6, rook to f8, king to c7, rook to a8, rook to d7 and check to black king, king to e8, giraffe to d5 and check to black king, king to e9, knight to d6, rook to h8, knight to f7 and check to black king, king to f8, king to c8, king to
Nawaz
g7,
is just one step away to win by
king
crowning.
to
Yes,
d9,
king moves to
crowning win.
d9 and it is a crowning win to Nawaz. Jay Bhargav out. Proddatur Gladiators team lost second player. Nawaz won second game by crowning in 49 moves with playtime 6 minutes 6 seconds. So far, Nawaz won 2 games continuously. Just one more game win is needed to do Hattrick and become Hattrick hero of the match today. And there we can see Nawaz by lifting his king. He is celebrating second game win. In the next game and third game he is going to play with Sufyan. We come back to the third game in few minutes. Now, let us watch third game of the match between Proddatur Gladiators team last player Sufyan versus Proddatur Spartans team opening player Nawaz. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Nawaz already won continuously 2 games and now playing third game for doing hat-trick. Let us see what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Little Scholar awardee Proddatur Gladiators team last player Sufyan is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. 6 times hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee Proddatur Spartans team opening player Nawaz is ready to play on black side. Now we can see both players are ready to start the game 3 of the match. Black side player Nawaz is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game started.
knight to f3, knight to c6, pawn to e4, pawn to e6, pawn to e5, pawn to d5, pawn to h4, bishop to e7, giraffe to e3, pawn to b6, giraffe to h2, pawn to h6, pawn to c3, bishop to b7, pawn to g4, queen to d7, Bishop to h3. Castling at queen side. Pawn to g5. Pawn capture pawn at g5. Giraffe capture pawn at g5. Bishop capture giraffe at g5. Knight capture bishop at g5. Pawn to f6. Pawn captured pawn at f6. Pawn captured pawn at f6. Knight to f3. Knight to e7. Giraffe to d3. Giraffe to b8. Giraffe capture knight at c6. Bishop captured giraffe at c6. Pawn to d4. Pawn to f5. Knight to g5. Rook capture pawn at g4. Knight to f7. Rook to f8. Knight to e5. Queen to d6. Rook to g1. Rook capture bishop at h3. Rook at g3. Rook capture rook at g3. Pawn capture rook at g3. Rook at g8. Bishop to f4. Queen to d8. Knight to f7. Queen to f8. Knight to h6. Rook to g6. Queen to d2. Knight to g8. Knight capture knight at g8. Queen capture knight at g8. Knight to a3. Giraffe to e7. Bishop to e3. Rook capture pawn at g3. Bishop to f2. Rook to h3. Pawn to c4. Rook to h1 and check to white king. King to e0. Queen to g2 and check to white king. King to d0. Rook capture rook at g1. Knight to c2. Rook to f1. Knight to e1. Queen capture bishop at f2. Queen to d1. Giraffe capture pawn at d4. king to e0, rook to e1 and check to white king. King to d0,
Queen takes pawn at b2 and check to white king.
queen to c1,
Nawaz immediately captured queen at c1 and check to white king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Nawaz and it is a hat-trick win to Nawaz. Nawaz became a hat-trick hero of the match today. Sufyan out. Proddatur Gladiators team lost all players. It is a clear all-out. Nawaz won the third game by checkmate in 40 moves with playtime 5 minutes 23 seconds. And there we can see Nawaz celebrating his hat-trick by lifting his king. And this is the 7th hat-trick in Hattrick League to Nawaz. Congratulations hat-trick hero Nawaz and congratulations to the second match winner Proddatur Spartans team and best wishes to the second match losers Proddatur Gladiators team.
Everyone, welcome to Giraffe Chess Hattrick League Season 3. Now, just completed match number between Proddatur Spartans versus Proddatur Gladiators. Today's match and today's hero, Hattrick hero is the Nawaz. I congratulate Nawaz. Once again, he did a hat-trick. So, 500 cash prize for the hat-trick from the International Giraffe Chess Federation. Congratulations. Now, in today's match, let us have a small interview. In today's match, you allowed opponent all three players in total 115 moves, isn't it? In that, in game 1, you out Ishwar by checkmate in 25 moves. So you know very well, as a player, checkmate, that too against a big hat-trick league hero player. You out the Ishwar. So what is the best move?
In 32, he gave forward. I gave forward to him. He lost his game.
Okay, so that is the reason. Next one, Nawaz, you out the second player in game 2, Jaybargo, crowning by 50 moves. So okay, in this game, what is the best move?
I concluded that he was planning to kill the queen, so I saved and I will win.
Very good. Exactly that is the reason that we observed while playing, he unnecessarily used that power. Next, we'll come to the third game. In third game, you played with Sufyan. The easy win for you, Sufyan. Why? Because of he's the little kid. Just the first time he is playing on Hattrick League. But Sufyan played very well. Then you out him by checkmate in 40 moves. Good defense. Even though small kid, small player, upcoming player, that is his debut match, but he managed to move up to 40 moves. Then, what is the best move?
He gave all three powers to me, so I will win.
Okay, so this is the 3 games, how he won, how he become a hat-trick hero of today's match. Anyhow, congratulations once again, today's hat-trick hero, Nawaz. So, whom you dedicate to this match hat-trick to the parents. Thanks to the parents who are supporting Nawaz for the hat-trick. Anyhow, once again, congratulations.
And here is the today's hat-trick hero Nawaz Sheikh's scorecard. In game 1, he outs Ishwar by checkmate in 25 moves. In game 2, he outs Jaybargo Reddy by crowning in 50 moves. In game 3, he outs Sufyan by checkmate in 40 moves. Totally, he did hat-trick in 115 moves. Congratulations, hat-trick hero Nawaz. All the best for the next matches. And finally, here is the points table after finishing off Hattrick League 2 matches. There we can see Proddatur Chiritas on number 1 position with 2 points They played one match, won one match, lost nil, and that too Jigneshwar Hattrick that they won the match by just 107 moves. They are in lead. And the second position, Proddatur Spartans. They are in second position in points table. In that they played one match, won one match, lost nil, and Hattrick, superb Hattrick by Nawaz in 115 moves. They are in second.